Greetings, sir and sirettes, and welcome back to Banished with me, Lathsburg, and of course, welcome back to the ever-extending borders of Lathsburg. Today we are going to be focusing on converting this little wooden wasteland into a beautiful part of our village. Yes, indeed, we're finally going to actually make some use of all this land between our farming area and our little blacksmith. Well, it's almost a little village of its own right. It has its own little market, its own storage. It's rather pretty, but it's time they are joined together and we actually make some use out of this. We are also, hopefully, if we have time, going to explore converting the original area into something a little bit more efficient. At the moment, it's kind of got a little bit of everything, but absolutely no specialization, which is the big problem. It's simply the most inefficient area we currently own. And finally, two more things actually. First of all, we have our bundling shed. We were building it in the last video and it built while we were sorting out other things. This can actually allow us to use, hemp as fire bundles, so we can make fuel for houses from this, and then the charcoal can be used in a much more efficient way at the fuel refineries. So I will be turning this on right now with just one person working there. There we are, and the fuel limit can be increased quite a bit. So, the last thing I want to have a look at, as I say, there were two things, is this. Yes, this rock in particular. So, one thing we can do is start raising terrain. Yes, in this mod you do have the power to simply do this. I'm not a massive fan of this, it must be said, purely because it's an instant process for absolutely no pay. There's no work involved, you simply put it down and it's done. However, I really want to do it because of one massive reason. Where are you there? Not native items. There we go, all of these things, look, you get all of these which are waterborne buildings. Now obviously you can't put them straight onto the water, but most of them can be, which means we could have a small fishing village in the middle of all the larger areas of our village, which is fantastic. So if we were to have normal bridges going into the middle, then we had like a small miniature island here built by ourselves, we could have a small fishing village, which would be fantastic. So I am very likely to be doing that either this episode or the next. Then we also have these, which are the modular buildings, which are insane. You can have all sorts of good stuff like this one here. There we are. You can have a market on the bottom. Then you can have a modular residence on the top. So you can have a market with houses on the top, which is also really cool, which we could do in the little island there. But right now, though, we are still waiting on our population to increase. Well, the population is increasing, but we are simply waiting for the students to become labourers. Because, well, as you can see, we've only just put down these houses, so they're still fairly young. We were suffering from an issue where our population was ageing horribly. So I'll just fast forward times 10 and we'll be back shortly once I have some people to work with. As our population increases, apparently the plague god wants it to decrease. An outbreak of dysentery has occurred. Now this is not good. As you can imagine, this is not good at all. Not only is this generally bad, any outbreak is bad, dysentery is one of the worst, with Black Death being a little bit worse than that. So if this is allowed to continue, we are going to lose a large amount of our population, and as such we need to build a hospital right now. Now, where will I build this hospital? I think it should be in the huge urban area over here, because, well, it's got all the people here. I think it just makes sense that this is nestled nicely there. Okay, so let's make sure this is the top priority at all costs. There we are. Okay, well, times 10, there's nothing more else we can really do now, except for wait and hope it all turns out for the best. Please, go back to your home! Honestly, if you had dysentery, you probably wouldn't be out and about. Please don't spread it. Oh, stop going to huge... Oh, okay, 2 people are infected. Well done. You went to an urban area and you've infected 2 people. We're now playing Plague Inc. Thanks. That's it, stay at home. Stay at home. Nope. There is no doctor. I mean, there is a herb... Would an apothecary count, I wonder? Let's put that on. Wow, the original either died or simply cured itself. Is dysentery not so bad? I always thought dysentery was one of the worst. I mean, there is scarlet fever and various other ones, which are also quite bad. I can't remember exactly which diseases are classed as the worst in this game. There are a lot of diseases you can get. I know that influenza is not the worst. Oh, Lord, there's 9 people infected now. Well, here's hoping perhaps the apothecary might work. It doesn't seem like it does. People are dying of old age. Oh, that's how they died. They didn't die of disease, they died of old age. Oh, they're all sick and not doing anything. It doesn't seem to be killing them, though. I mean, it's spreading ineffectiveness to everyone. Everyone who's infected simply can't do anything whilst infected, but other than that, there don't really seem to be any massive negative effects. But it is going to be around until we can get that hospital sorted. Or a miracle occurs. A miracle. A milk? As if a miracle using milk. Yes, little did people know that the Lathian people worship the cow god. Milkle. Our first death of dysentery, not exactly the best. Also, I did very quickly realise we've actually run out of stone with the recent huge surge of building, well, buildings. Here's hoping that our people can work a little bit faster to annihilate the stone around here. It is now winter, which means our farming force are currently labourers. So they are doing a pretty darn good job, and the stone is almost completely stockpiled in the hospital. As soon as that's finished, we should be okay. Here's hoping that colonial charter hasn't suddenly made the hospitals actually cost some kind of resource to run. Well now, that was quick, a lot quicker than I expected. So thanks to the disease being mostly in this area, the lovely doctor was able to cure almost everyone in one giant wave. We currently have 2 patients left. The first is now coming back to the hospital, and so is the second. So at very minimum, even if they do perish in here, they don't spread the disease once they're there. The only way they can spread the disease is to infect the physician himself, who currently is nowhere nearby. And we're done regardless. There we go. The great outbreak of 81 is now over. We also have run out of stone once more from our quarry. Now, we can upgrade that, and we will be focusing on upgrading that at a later date, of course using the oil, but for now I really don't want to go down a whole other production line. So what I've done is I'm starting to build another quarry here, because honestly I want to move it over here anyway, so we might just upgrade this one over and simply allow this one to be reclaimed by the earth, so we just have a little patch of stone there, a little unusable patch of dirt, which honestly is completely fine by me. So we have some more labourers. Our student population is ridiculously huge. In fact, I should recheck to make sure we can handle it. Yes, we can. One thing we should do is start building more schools elsewhere, because the speed of education does depend on how long it takes for the student to actually get to the school. It takes a certain amount of time in a school to become educated, so if it takes them too long to get there and back, you can imagine it's not the best. So let's go ahead and build ourselves a new school. The one-room schoolhouse, because we can upgrade that one easily. In fact, I think that's the only school... No, you can have a normal schoolhouse as well. I don't know if that would actually be a huge benefit. So we're going to put this one here, anyway, next to the hospital. And once again, I'll be back once hopefully we can actually do something. Our population is now at a stage where we can consider the future of this woodland. And in the meantime, I was a little bit bored, so I started shaping out an island. It's not quite done yet, and I'm really not overly happy with it. But there we are, we've got a small island in the very middle of the lake. Well, not exactly in the middle of the lake, but in the middle of this section we've kind of segmented because of this bridge. Goodbye, nomads. So, what are we going to do here then? Well, like I said, it's going to be mostly for fish. So we're going to have tidal pools, we're going to have hunting blinds, maybe, and we're going to have the regular old fishing docks, which I actually haven't got any of yet. So that's what's going to be here for now, so let's just start putting them down. We'll put them on pause. This is all for the future. The wharf and ship. A wharf with its ship is an advanced building used to fish whale, seal and lobster on the high seas. Whale blubber is used to make lamp oil at an lamp oil press, an important part of making some advanced buildings. Now, I believe you probably have to put this on the main river that goes out of the actual map, so we'll probably put this somewhere else, because we will be getting this in the future, mostly because we want some lamp oil, and I'm hoping that maybe this will provide us the other item we need, which is the ship parts. No, it doesn't. Darn you, game. Darn you. Bootlegger, what did you give me? Wow, the bootlegger's given me all sorts of stuff. Fantastic. So, we do actually have to make those parts ourselves. I don't actually know. The one is furnishings or building supplies, which I think we can make here. Let's have a quick look. So, yeah, we can have the building supplies ourselves. But the other one, which is I think ship parts, are a whole different production line, which by the looks of it we may have to do ourselves unless we find happily at the trader at some stage. Let's keep putting these down until we have enough labourers that I'm fairly confident we can start sparing them for other places. So, fishing dock there. Really? They can't go there? That's surprising. Oh, it's one too small for that. Okay. There we are. Fishing dock goes there. Fishing dock goes everywhere. All we need is fishing docks. That will solve all of our problems. The one big problem with making these islands is you can't make it so that it actually goes down naturally into the water like a beach kind of section. It's very, very blunt. Let's just build a nice little space there for that. Remove this, so it's not obvious that this was built by us. And then once again, let's put on another fishing dock. And this will probably be the last one there, and then have one facing this way so that they don't overlap too much. These two are probably going to overlap a little bit, but not too badly at all. Okay, so we have 4 fishing docks. We can do some tidal pools and stuff in the future, but yet we have 13 labourers spare, and I believe every building has things working on it. Now, I am currently out of fuel, and the reason is I may have accidentally stopped people working at these lovely foresters' lodges, but now we have new ones. Everything is better and fine. How many do we need for maximum foresters? There we go, 4 more people. We could, of course, use this land for foresters, but I choose not to. So what we're going to do is remove resources. I want this area to be picked clean so that we may start building knowing exactly how much space we actually have. I think I have made my mind up what this area will be. Since I've been talking about it for quite some time and we still haven't really acted upon it, we are going to be making the inn and garden here along with some lovely distilleries, wineries, and possibly even a curing barn if we ever do decide to actually get some tobacco. I mean, I could make a small tobacco farm here since, well, the brewery and such, I am going to be planting some crops in the back of it. It's all going to be fenced off nicely and look all lovely. So it's going to be a completely self-servicing, self-production line, making its own crops to make its own alcohol and eventually its own tobacco. Haha! Somewhere for our hard workers to go and relax after a hard day of, well, honestly, some of the most horrendous looking jobs I've seen. So let's put the inn and garden nicely up front so everyone can see it about here. But no, let's put it there so it faces the mining bit. No, it's got the bigger population there. We want to draw in more patrons. It will be placed there, okay. We'll even have a small market using the, where are you? The modular buildings, if I can ever find them again. There we go. We have the urban food market. Not really that useful, but still, it'll be cool if we have some buildings in here. We'll probably have some of the more expensive buildings being placed in here. Also, it looks so weird. I've seen this place with absolutely no buildings and just loads of trees for so long. Actually seeing it being cut down is bizarre. So, okay, we have the inn and garden. What else do we need then? So, in the back, somewhere around here, we're going to add... Once again, if I can find the darn thing. It's in luxuries, yes, in luxuries, whoopsie-daisy. We want the winery, which will be one of the easier ones. In fact, we could have several of these, so we can actually produce some excess. Because I want this to supply our village forever. I don't want to have to make more wineries or any alcohol production in the future. I want everything to be nicely located here. We then want the distillery, which we actually have all the resources for now, which we'll put like this. Wait, that's go. Oh, it's forwards. Okay, so we put it this way instead then. And then we'll make a single curing barn, although this will be built last because we really have very little use for this until the others are done. Okay, then we'll see what we actually want to use to make our alcohols, and then we'll decide on little plant farms here and there, which will all be lovely. I've also started work on actually doing things here. So we have the small market now coming up. We're going to turn on our fishing docks to increase the variety of food we have in our lovely village. There we are. So what kind of buildings do we want here? Oh, also, this is red brick road. Probably the worst idea of mine because it blends in with the dirt. So instead we're probably going to have a moss road to kind of indicate the fact that, you know, it's on an island and all cold and wet and stuff, and it's all mouldy and ugh. We need more vendors, but that's fine, we don't need it just yet. So what kind of houses do we want? One kind of house I want to build somewhere eventually is these. Look how cool it is, the native buildings. That's just freaking awesome, and I do want to do that in the future, but not right now. So, not salt box houses. Wooden houses look okay here, so do the log cabins, honestly. The log cabins look right in place here. The town abodes and large residences look really out of place, and the country houses same again. So I think for the centre here, we're probably going to... Actually, no. Take that back. Not the town abodes. Which one was it then? Ah, one of the buildings didn't actually look too bad for the placement. I can't remember which one it was. Was it that? Yeah, the country houses look pretty in keeping of this. It looks like one of those places you visit occasionally on a holiday near the shore, like a small tourist village. So that's fine by me. So we'll have a small little urban area, a little housing area rather, going along like that. Have 3 of them there. Then we'll do something in the middle there, probably roads and such, possibly a smaller market. Then we'll have more country houses there. And that should service all the fishermen who will work here in the future. Excellent. So, we'll just let these people get along with this, and we'll be back in a second. We are making progress today. I've also started to destroy some of the stuff here, as you can see. I have to destroy it slowly as to not move too much of the populace at once. Eventually this area will be free, and most likely it will become completely pastures, and then we'll have higher quality housing here and a small market in the middle, because that is one thing this area is really lacking in, a market. It does have a food market, which is absolutely fine, so the houses are getting that, but it doesn't have a lot of the fuels and such actually being supplied here very easily. Our inn and garden is completed, and it is a lovely little building. Isn't that just fantastic looking? Once again, hats off to the mod creators. They have done such a good job of keeping the buildings with the regular aesthetic of Banished. Also, our fishing docks are up and running. Yep, all of them are in fact now. So I can increase the amount of fishermen we have by another 4. There we are. Some of our houses are now down, and we are making a barn. The market is working away to get all the goods to this locale. It's all going pretty well, actually, except for we are running out of clothes, and the reason is we're using hide coats rather than wool. So instead we're going to move over to wool clothes so that we can actually make a large amount of them. All this is done. The winery is coming up nicely, so let's figure out how we're actually going to decorate this place. Let's just pause time for a second because so much is happening at once. Sturdy stone walls is probably what I'm going to want, with the arch about, let's say, a bit further back than right at the front. About there. Okay, then we have the walls we can actually access. That's the end. Is it just regular? That's what we want. So we just want these, and these will go along like so. Only 2 stone each, so that's absolutely fine. Our stone production is now back on track. Now I think after we put this little line here, we will have to wait a little while, purely because we don't exactly know what we're going to have in this little leisure area. Oopsie-daisy. This little leisure area, so we don't know how to actually fully wall it off, because the last thing we want to do is build a wall and then realise we're going to have to remove some of the wall purely because, well, whoopsie-daisy. The thing we built is too big. So we'll just put this here for now. Excellent. Do we want someone working there? Okay. Wow, it only requires 1 person working there. Which means I'm going to have 2 people working because we do have the place all the way back in the regular village. Wow, so many people just died at once. I guess that's what happens when you do build several houses at once. Shall we remove this winery? I think we should, yes. It's currently not even being used anyway because the maximum amount has been hit. So we will remove that winery, and next we will remove... it's going to be difficult to remove the pastures because we're going to need to move the pigs elsewhere. Otherwise we'll have no access to them for a while. Or we could just do that and simply get more pigs later. They're constantly being sold to us, so that's no issue really. There we go, we have the winery, which is going to be using, as always, watermelons. There we are. And that is one of the reasons why we need these small markets, because they will actually bring watermelons into this place. So we have 2 of these, both of them will be making watermelons, the luxuries will be increased dramatically, and now we have 2 people working. Excellent. For a while they are going to have to walk a long distance to actually get that, but that's just fine. Okay, distillery, how do you work? Apples, we don't have that. With figs, no. Herbs, herbs we could do. Wow, we can make it out of herbs. That's actually fantastic. We do, however, need glassware. Oh dear, that's not something we really have access to. We could make vodka from potatoes, of course. Oh, of course, we make vodka. Yes, I believe vodka's going to be our main version. Wait, are we actually getting potatoes? Wait, do we not actually have potatoes? I could have sworn we had potatoes at some stage. My lord, we don't have potatoes! It must be because I'm constantly seeing the watermelons, which have basically the same shape. Oh, that's insane! Okay, so clearly not. We're going to have to use herbs to make... What is the thing called? I cannot pronounce that. If anyone knows how to pronounce that, feel free to put it in the comments below. I'm not even going to attempt it. So there we are. We can actually make something, though. We just need to figure out how to make glassware. How on earth is glassware made? Glassware is made at the glass... Is it? Is it now, really? I thought there'd be just... Oh, well that's fine by me. That's nice and easy. Straight away, start making us some glassware. Oh, lovely glassworks. I haven't actually had someone working there for ages. Purely because, well, we've had no need for it. You're currently catching frogs. You're going to go back to sand production for now then. There we are. So we can make some glassware, which means we should have everything, correct? Glassware, furniture, yep, we have everything, excellent. So, there we go, we can actually start making that straight away. The herbs will need to be grown then. So, watermelons and herbs, so far. We didn't put down a brewery, that's one thing we didn't put down. We'll put that, let's say, here. So it's like, it's a nice little area here for producing alcohol, this nice little section. Excellent. Our luxury production area is almost completed, and we are soon going to be producing mead from our new apiaries. We've also finished off the curing barn. Sadly, of course, we don't have any tobacco leaves, and we certainly don't have any crates. Those will be coming in the future. The tobacco will be grown in this area, and the crates will be produced elsewhere, as they are actually very easy to produce. So that's all lovely and good. We have also made some delicious spirits, as I said earlier, and wine is being produced. Our inn is already full of all this lovely stuff. We have scotch from I'm not even sure where. We have spirits, wines, tobaccos, so much good stuff. It's absolutely fantastic. All of our people will be very happy with that. Is it you producing the scotch? I don't really know. All I know is the bootlegger is actually producing a lot of our alcohol, but this will of course make it a more constant supply. We could even start trading it if we are getting enough of it, which very well could happen. Also, the moss roads are finally in place, and honestly, they look fantastic on this island. I may consume a lot of the island for it. Thankfully as well, with the decorations, we can start placing trees here, so it will look a little bit more natural and not just, well, like a lump of stone, which it does at the moment. That does need to be fixed, so trees will be added in the future. So with that though, I am all out of time. Thank you so much for watching. If you have enjoyed today's episode, then of course, likes, favourites, shares, comments, all that good stuff helps out me, helps out the channel, and most importantly, shows that Banished is a series you wish to see continued in the future. Thank you again, and goodbye.